I have a pretty fun video planned for later where I'm going to be picking on Travis Barker and Liquid Death, two of my favorite things to make fun of on the internet. But for right now, we got to put on our serious face because it's time to talk about some stuff that isn't so happy. And normally I talk about music and music related stuff here on this channel, but today we're going to be talking about Bam Margera because a whole bunch of wacky stuff is going down that needs to be addressed. We're about right in the middle of some craziness. And it looks like it's going to develop in a very dangerous way. So just to get out ahead of it a little bit, let's talk about what's going on with Bam Margera today. And like I said, I know it's not really a music topic, but to me, Bam Margera has always been music adjacent, with the skateboarding, with the Jackass and all that sort of stuff. Plus he's the most chaotic and dramatic man alive, which makes him the perfect fit for a character on this channel. Hey, how's it going? It's your friendly neighborhood gatekeeper, Dan Frampton here, and before we get going, how's about you like the video and spam some pancakes and glizzies down there in the comments. Whatever you're feeling, a pancake, a glizzy, a combination of the two, it doesn't matter. Hell, you can even choose your own emoji if you want. But the solidarity that I'm seeing in these pancake emojis makes my heart shine 100 times over. But what isn't very shiny right now is Bam Margera's reputation. In the late 90s and early 2000s, this guy was the coolest guy in the world, okay? A part of Jackass, CKY, professional skateboarder, in the Tony Hawk games, had shows on MTV, was putting out DVDs. This guy was all over the place. And not only all that, when Jackass went to theaters, he was in those movies as well. So he was just like raking in the biggest bucks imaginable. And that might be another reason why I'm lumping Bam Margera in with like the music sphere, because he's always been an MTV guy. And during my era, MTV still kind of like played music and stuff. But this was kind of the tipping point when they were changing from like a music channel to more of like a reality entertainment type network or whatever. That fame and money definitely sadly went to Bam Margera's head, and he started to experiment with a bunch of drugs and alcohol and went down like the darkest paths imaginable. And when it was announced that Jackass was coming back for Jackass 3, Bam Margera was set to be a part of the cast because we all thought that he was getting help and getting over all of these demons or whatever. And if you watch that movie, you would notice that Bam Margera is not in the movie, and that's because he got kicked off the set of that movie for being a total chaotic nightmare. So during all that, we were like, oh no, Bam's not safe. Nobody in his life is safe. This is all a very dramatic, dangerous time. And we were all like on edge, waiting to see what was going to happen next. Was he going to get 5150'd again? Was he going to get like put away? What was going to happen with Bam Margera? And yesterday, stuff went down with Bam Margera. On April 24th, 2023, it was reported that Bam Margera was last seen running into the woods. Where was he going? What was he off doing? Was he running away from somebody? Was he hiding? Well, yeah, because he was charged 4 times over with terroristic threats. But earlier today, we got a little bit of information that shed a little bit of light onto this situation. So apparently what ended up happening, Bam Margera ends up at his brother's house just like pounding on the door. And I'm not sure if he lives with his brother or what was going on there, but he was knocking on his brother's bedroom door early in the morning. And then his brother went downstairs to find Bam Margera peeing in the kitchen sink. And of course, an altercation broke out then. It was then that Bam Margera was like, if you call the police, I'm severely gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna kill you, this and that, weapons, this and that. So apparently after all these threats to his brother, after this altercation went down, he ran off into the woods. Now there's 2 ways that you could go about this situation here, police of Pennsylvania. Okay, you could just like let this guy go out there and do his own thing, wait till he comes back around, and then you know, he might pass out soon and then you can arrest him or whatever. Or you could actively search for him. I know that's going to cost you a little bit of money, but I do think that that might be the safest thing for everybody involved. Go after Bam Margera, find him, put him somewhere where he can't hurt himself, where he can't hurt anybody else, because I fear that something very, very dangerous is about to happen. I really want him to get well. It's not cool to see someone battling these kinds of issues, but it's certainly also not cool to be threatening your family and peeing in their sinks. That's not what sinks are for. I'm sure there were a couple bathrooms in that there house that you could have been using, Bam Margera. And the drugs and alcohol have not been nice to Bam Margera. He definitely looks like they're weighing him down. He's a big, fat, bloated version of what he used to be. But this time last year, there was a video of him on YouTube doing skateboarding again, hitting some ramps, doing some kick flips. And it seemed like that passion for skateboarding could have been the thing to reinvigorate him to get sober, to get clean, and to get healthy again. But that's clear that didn't happen. And now for a little bit of my personal opinion here. I've never been the biggest Bam Margera fan, okay? There are other members in the Jackass cast that I find funnier and more engaging. I always found the way that he treated his mom and dad to be completely irritating, and I think in his mind, he thinks that the MTV cameras are still rolling. But they're not. You gotta be nice to these people. Well, maybe you don't have to be nice to them, what do I know? But don't threaten to kill them after peeing in their sinks. That seems crazy. And I'm sorry to be throwing around that word crazy so loosely, because it is clear that Bam Margera is dealing with some mental health issues, some illnesses as it were. But just because there's an illness at hand doesn't excuse the bad behavior, okay? And I hope by the time that I turn this camera on again to do an update, that it is a positive update and there hasn't been more harm to more people. I do have a couple predictions in mind what the next updates are going to be, but I'm not callous enough to be talking about other people's lives like that when it comes to harm and death and drugs and suicide and all that sort of stuff. But honestly, all those things are on the table right now with Bam, and we just gotta hope that the positive will outweigh the negative. Because there are far fewer good outcomes as opposed to bad outcomes when it comes to this situation. But I don't know what's gonna make anyone feel better, but I know what's gonna make me feel better, and that's a bunch of pancake emojis down there in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you're cool as hell. And until my next upload, you can watch another upload.